Hey everybody, this is Mr. Baker for Mr. Baker and Mr. Stark's Algebra 1 class. This video is for Standard 11 about equations and inequalities. And we're looking at equations and inequalities that have a variable on both sides. Basically, this is what we're going to do. Instead of having just some numbers and a variable over on the left or the right, and maybe just a number on the other side, we're going to take variables and numbers on both sides, dump them into the funnel, and then when it comes out, we just want one value, one unknown, to say x or whatever our variable is equals whatever else. We're going to use our rules that we've been using on solving equations all along. We're going to remember our order of operations, but remember we're going to do those backwards. So we're going to look at adding and subtracting first and get those away from the variable, and then remember we'll multiply or divide things if we need to, and then we'll look at exponents or parentheses too. But remember, solving equations, we'll go backwards. We're still going to do that with variables on both sides, but now instead of adding or subtracting just numbers, we might do that with variables too. So remember, we're still going to do the same to both sides. To look at variable equations or inequalities with variables on both sides, I just wanted to answer this question: can I win against my friend in fantasy football this week? This is where we're at currently. I've got 63 points, he's got 95. And then we're going to use an inequality, actually, because I don't want to be equal to him. I don't want to tie him. I want to beat him. This is my question. Can I beat my team's shake and bake there? Can I beat 99 special? Let's make an equation over here. It's going to be my stuff, and I want to be more than his stuff. We'll do him in red. Alright, so he's got 95 points, and I've got 63 currently. We're going to add to that however many more the other players are going to get today. Our variable is going to be points. He's going to get some more points. I'm going to get some more points. How many more players do I have? I'm just looking here, the ones that don't say final, if you can see that. I've got Dwayne Bowe still. I've got this guy, Lamar Miller. I've got this guy, Alshon Jeffrey, who's playing tomorrow night. And Antonio Brown, who's playing tomorrow night. So I've got four players listed still here. And my friend Steve has Calvin Johnson playing tomorrow, Julius Thomas playing right now, and I think that guy's name is Kelvin Davis still playing. So I've got 4 more guys to score points, and he has 3 more. So we're going to see if, just reading through this, if 63 with 4 times the number of points can be more than 95 added to 3 players scoring some more points. Okay, so let's solve my equation. I'm going to remember my order of operations so I can work backwards from it. I want to see if, first of all, I have anything added or subtracted to the variable. Over on the green side, I have 63 added to my variable, and over on the red side, I have 95 added to the variable. Let's deal with the 63 or the 95. We're going to do that by subtracting either 63 from both sides or 95 from both sides. Remember, both sides thinking about this imaginary line on either side of that inequality. And we're going to subtract either one because they're both positive. That's a positive 63 and a positive 95. Subtracting 63 would be a little better in this case because that's going to give me a positive number when I do 95 minus 63. This is a 0 over here, so we can cancel that. And then I have 4x is greater than 32 plus 3x. Kind of still on the addition subtraction side over here on my order of operations. I still have a 32 that's being added or subtracted to my x. But in this case, I don't want to move the number because I just did that a second ago. And if I were to maybe subtract 32 from both sides, then I just wind up with a number. If I were to do this, I'd cancel it over here, but then I'd still have a number with the x over there. So this is where it comes into, sometimes we'll add or subtract the variable also. Let's get these x's, let's move all these unknown amounts of points over from the right to the left hand side. 3x minus 3x is a 0. And 4 minus 3, 4 things minus 3 things is just one thing. We'll leave off the 1. So now we have 1x is greater than 32. What is x? In our context, remember, x is points. So I need, on average, all of the other players to score 32 points. Or more than 32 points. More than. Which usually only happens if you follow fantasy football at all. Usually points that big only happen for quarterbacks, so looks like I'll lose. Sad face. Let's do 2 more just examples. We'll call this example 2. I have 4 more than 2 times the number is equal to 24 more than 3 times, negative 3 times the number. Let's remember again, think about your boundaries of each side of the equation. Let's get these variables together, and we're going to get the numbers together so that when we put it into the funnel, remember my funnel, put that all together, we're going to get to x equals something at the end. So let's take the x's first. I have a negative 3, so that's kind of the same as subtracting 3. If I'm going to move that, what operations wise, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. That's now a 0. 2 plus 3 is 5. Don't forget your x. 5x plus 4 equals 24. I've got a 4 added or subtracted to a variable, so let's subtract that. Because it was positive, that's a 0. 5x equals 20. I've done my adding, subtracting. Now I have a 5 multiplied to the x. Let's do the opposite operation. We'll divide it on both sides of the equation to balance it. 5 over 5 simplifies to 1. So I have x equals what 20 divided by 5 is, which is 4. So what that means, if I were to think about what do I do with this 4? Ooh, can't read that. If I were to take that 4 and put it back in to 2 times 4 plus 4 equals negative 3 times 4 plus 24, which is what I started with, you would get the same set of numbers. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12, and negative 3 times 4 is negative 12 plus 24. That's positive 12. So it balanced out. Let's do one more. Okay, I did this one as an inequality just for us to look at it. I have x minus 10 is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 20. Let's get the x's together. I'm going to add 2x to both sides to keep some positives. That's a 0. And remember to think about a 1 in front there. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3x minus 10 is less than or equal to 20. Get the x away from the numbers. Negative 10 and positive 10 is 0. 3x is less than or equal to positive 30. Let's undo that division. Divide by 3. That's a 1, so it cancels. X is less than or equal to 10.